Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Spring is upon us, which means spring cleaning, and we have a guest that can help get the job done.
I'm Stacy Beck. Are you dealing with grief? We'll talk to a woman that can help support those in pain.
And I'm Angie Murphy. Our producer just returned home from a 10-day adventure to Guatemala. We'll talk about what he went for.
And of course, we'll talk about anything we want. All this and more on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. What have you girls been up to since the last time we met?
Oh my. I think we're a bit giggly and tired and sick. Mm-hmm. I'm a little sick.
Don't touch your face.
We've had sick too. Bo kind of woke up with a cold and chills, and like he started telling me what he has, and then all of a sudden he's skimming through his phone. He's like, "These are all the symptoms of coronavirus."
Exactly. So that's the reason I say don't touch your face, because that's what everybody is pointing toward now, right? So if you have any type of symptoms, or I just think it's a very good excuse to quarantine yourself. I can't. I'm
right.
afraid.
Okay, clarify for me. Isn't this just sort of like a virus that we get? This flu vaccine just has not it's not covering it.
It's a super bug. So yes, so anything that would have been comparable to the bird flu, so the avian flu, the swine flu. Yes, any of those super bugs that they haven't quite.
So not everyone could pass away from it, just if your immune system is compromised?
Just half of us.
Okay, just 40% of us, I heard.
Specifically young, like babies and over 50.
Okay.
But why are people buying water?
Yeah, when the tap is going to work, guys.
I'm just confused. I feel like I'm out of the loop, that I should go shopping.
I think anytime you stimulate fear in people, that there would be some huge epidemic, especially in, times that could be,
if we were to be quarantined, I could see we need medication and toilet paper, that's a must. But water, our taps will still work.
Yes, they will.
They will.
I've even confirmed this with the city.
Okay, thank you, Stacy Beck.
Our water will still come from the tap, and it will be
calm down.
Super inexpensive.
Okay, so calm down on the water, but maybe toilet paper.
But maybe this many people really don't have any toilet paper.
Right, and we
they're
really
down
don't.
to their last
maybe.
4-pack, and now they're...
No, guys, we really are. And I normally have 2 or 3 big Costco ones. It's been such a busy month with babies and stuff. I went down there and I'm like, guys, we really do need toilet paper.
So isn't that funny? Because we operate the same way. So you have the case, right? Then it
just gets
goes,
down.
yes. And we have one, the special roll that's hidden away, right, for emergencies, because you never want to do the...
I don't do that. That's a good idea.
The walk of shame to 7-Eleven or something, right, to get the 4-pack to get you by.
Get a T-shirt out.
Because let's be real, right? So yeah, but you wonder really now, how much could that roll of toilet paper be worth to someone? Yeah, but
trade it for a Diet Coke or a little bit of chocolate.
Yes, well, then I heard that with Diet Coke, we got on to work to order our Costco order online, and it wouldn't, Diet Coke was not available, and someone was saying that because that sweetener is made in China, that it's limiting maybe all of that as well.
Okay,
so this
now I'm worried.
Right.
I wasn't worried.
Because China makes a lot of things for us people.
So now is probably not the time to break away from Diet Coke and go to water, because there's not any water either.
So I've got to go stock up on that. That would be a plus. Okay, this is also funny. So in my Costco order, after we went to the checkout, then it says, if this is out, what would you prefer, as a backup or that we could send you? So on the water, what they wanted to send me instead was ham. Sliced ham. And I was like, why would I want ham instead of water?
Yes.
I did not see the correlation at all.
We will have a ham. Why wouldn't we?
Because
actually,
it's
I
got
was
water
thinking
in
more
it?
like Perrier. We'll have sparkling, but
Weird, huh?
It is
Costco's trying to push certain items, I
That
guess.
is so funny.
Yes, definitely toilet paper, definitely water, anti-back wipes.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find any of anti-back wipes or any soft scrub with Clorox. So anything that you're going to be doing heavy cleaning with, then I had to put that order into Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
and the antibacteria just liquid, we couldn't get that in either.
Oh my gosh, this is
No, it's so weird.
Well, I've been drying out my hands though completely just from washing, especially with having little ones that are just little walking petri dish anyway.
Right.
So quick story, because I was in Sacramento and the Uber driver wouldn't touch my bag because he's like, normally I'd help you with your bag, but I'm not touching it because you just came off a plane.
This is just a good
Right.
excuse for stuff.
Right. So then I wasn't nervous until he started talking about it. And he's like, well, you can get the H1N1 masks here. And if I'm a painter, so you should get them there. And like giving me all this advice. So by the time my ride with Uber was over, I was completely
In a
like,
panic.
not touching my face. Where's
Well,
the
and
mask?
you're sitting in
Like-
the back seat where everyone's sitting. He's up front in
Yeah,
his normal
in his-
space.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and you know what? It really, the odor was very Lysol. Like you could tell that he had been super
Good.
like. So
Good
I mean,
man.
I guess it's good to be safe.
We've had a
but
few people come into our office wearing masks
Yeah.
and stuff. I think just
To the dentist.
to the dentist.
So I'm going to wear a mask to the dentist, but now please work on my mouth and I
Yes.
will breathe and spit
Yeah,
all over
well,
you.
Right, but it wasn't for because he was sick. It was because he wanted to protect himself.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just like,
From others.
So the way
But
that
then yes, but then you get in there and then you got to take the mask off, and we're going to be
so
there
it's
for
all
you.
about like protecting your face, right? Not touching. It's
Yes.
mostly to protect not touching your face because it's spread by respiratory droplets.
So when you sneeze,
and
cough.
and to avoid that from other people. Okay, we are winding down here for the beginning segment. So I have to say, because I've said this for the last couple of weeks, if you have not ever tried yoga, because I
Oh,
tried.
here we go.
Yes,
Good job.
I took the adult education course with Starlight Yoga and Amberlyn. You're amazing. Thank you so much. The gals from the recreation office, Kathy and Emily, have been there also.
That's funny because just 2 nights ago, Emily told me that she was thoroughly enjoying it. And
Oh my
seeing you
gosh.
there.
And you
Yes,
were able
yeah.
to do the headstand.
Yeah, I can do. It's a weird talent, but that's
Awesome.
the one
You got
thing
it.
I'm
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, so I really do. I believe it's something that we're going to pursue even after the adult education
Now, when you
classes.
say we, do you mean you and your new friends at the rec department?
Or us, or
All
you
of
and
us. No,
your hubby.
they want you to be included also. So I think that everybody should.
I do love yoga.
Do you?
If you yes, I love
Okay.
it. So if you can get me, it's just
Saturday
Right?
morning is
getting there.
tough.
I had no idea. I mean, it's challenged me in so many different ways, like parts of my body that I really didn't know that I had.
yeah.
You can bend and stretch
Good
and
strength.
and just the mental clarity because you can be like, oh
Okay.
yeah.
Will you stick with me on that? I would really like
Yes.
to go.
Yeah.
I would
We
totally
could
go.
try
would
it
love
once.
it.
I'll try it once.
So okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You try it once.
Fantastic. Okay.
Pinky promise.
All right.
got
Next
it.
up on Studio Chatter, need help with that mop and bucket? That's coming right up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Cleaning out the grime of winter, finding those lost boots, or just getting comfortable again in your house could take some serious help. And with that help, welcome Bailey Nielsen with Care Cleaning to the table. Welcome.
Hi,
Hi,
Bailey.
thanks for having me.
This is like we know her. I feel like she's one of our daughters, but our daughters both went to school with her, and so I guess you kind of are.
We are. I
it's
am.
fun to see you like learn.
And now she's all
growing
grown
and-
up and an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
so,
owning
so
your own
exciting.
business.
Yeah.
So how did you get into it?
My husband and I, we just started, it was August of 2017, but it was just like us two. We would go clean at like night, and it was nothing big for like 6 months. We didn't tell anyone. No one knew.
Okay.
And so then,
Just people's homes or
yeah, just
okay.
like random people. I don't even know. It was so little, and like we tried to talk ourselves out of doing it so many times, but every time we would, like something would happen and give us confirmation that we needed to keep going. And so in like June of 2018 is when we decided, like, if we're really gonna do it, we need to quit our jobs
Oh wow.
and do it just full time, because it's like, well, my husband watches Shark Tank all the time.
Oh, okay.
He can tell you everything. Like, he could make a deal. Like, I don't know, but he's like, they always say,
Wow.
like, if you believe in what you're doing, like, why are you working your other job?
Yes.
And so, and we like weren't in a bad place. Like, we liked our jobs, but I mean, I guess we were in the perfect situation. No kids, no.
Right.
Really, the
And
only
you're
time
20,
we
so
could.
the
Yeah.
sky's
Like,
the
let's
limit.
take a
Yeah.
jump and see.
And it
then
was
if-
scary.
But that's scary.
Yeah. And so we got our first employees. There were 2 girls, like, and we would go with them at first. We had to, like, because the only way we learned so much. We still always are changing things, because you learn, like, this isn't working.
Okay.
This isn't working. So if I wouldn't have went, like,
So you needed to set your standard with
Yes.
what products you want to choose,
Yeah.
how you wanted it clean.
Yeah.
And I love that because you use a lot of like pure good products. But anyway,
Yeah.
continue the story and we'll get there.
yes. So then we just got our first 2, and once we quit our jobs, it is kind of,
How
I
did
don't
you
know, we
market it?
still are like,
Right.
the only marketing we do is we have a social media, and we just like at the same time as the 6 months when we were like, okay, we're gonna tell people because we hid it for so long. We started a social media and we were like, we should share, because those prior 6 months, I would like wake up and just research everything about cleaning. So we were like, we should start a social media where we can teach people how to clean and these tips that we know, because not everyone has their house cleaned. Like, it's not practical.
Right.
And so we started this social media and we share all kinds of tips. Like, we share everything our girls do when they go clean.
It's awesome.
So it's not just like we want to come and clean for you, but if you can't afford to
They
have
show you
someone
like
cleaning,
tubs and like how to get all the grime
show
off
it
of
all.
it, before and afters. Like, I love them.
and then we'll do
Different
that tub a
products.
couple times, and then we'll hire you.
Yeah.
So
Like, I don't
what's
wanna
a
do it.
what's a signature trick that you use in cleaning? Like, what's your one thing that you always use or do in a particular room?
Oh, well, like I'll say my favorite ingredients are Blue Dawn dish soap and vinegar. Like
And I was just reading
Okay,
about
that's
that.
yeah, that's
what
all
I've
you
heard,
need.
yes.
Like,
Really?
I feel like people, because before we owned this, I didn't know, like, I'd go buy this expensive cleaner.
Right.
Right.
But really, like, the stuff you have in your pantry
So
does
is that
just,
what this is?
Yeah,
Blue
that's our
Dawn?
tub shower.
And why does it have to be blue?
Because it has Dawn in
Honestly,
it?
I don't know, but
No,
it's
because
amazing.
there's green Dawn.
And there is. I
There's
need to
different
do more
But maybe the blue
research.
like looks clean.
I don't
So-
know.
To me, like
so
water.
in this, let's say, like just one good squirt.
No, so you actually, this one, so what you do beforehand is you heat up like this much vinegar, and then the rest is Blue Dawn. And the reason you heat it up is just so it will mix. It's not so thick.
Oh, so that much vinegar.
Yeah.
Because if not, it would
Okay,
maybe
I would have thought
separate or
yeah.
something.
It would just be hard to
So
squirt
that
it.
much
Okay.
vinegar, about 3/4.
Yeah, 3/4.
And then the rest Dawn.
Blue
And you
Dawn.
use that for tubs and showers.
Yeah. What
and-
else?
Yeah, tubs and showers, not
Like,
marble.
what
though.
about this?
Okay.
This? So our all-purpose cleaner, like what we use on counters. Well, this is glass.
Yeah, this is glass, but let's
So
say
I have
it's
a-
your counters.
Yeah, I honestly just use distilled water and a drip of Blue Dawn dish soap, and it works amazing. Like, we have clients.
Does it disinfect?
It does not disinfect,
Okay.
but for disinfecting, I'm a fan of Force of Nature. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Force of nature.
Only
Yeah.
from your website.
Go
Your
look it up.
Instagram.
It's an amazing company. It's like all natural, but it works just as good as bleach, and that's what I use in my home.
So then you
Okay.
clean with that, with
Yeah.
the distilled water, and then spritzer the other one on?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the reason we use the distilled water and Blue Dawn on all cabinets is because Blue Dawn is safe for marble. And we don't want our girls to have to be like, oh, is this, it's just
Yes.
safe all around. We don't want to ruin anyone's.
What about like the certain rags you use? Is there a type that you like?
Yes, I love microfiber cloths. That's all I'll clean with.
Okay.
And something that we actually do is we provide every home that we go clean, we provide them with their own set of microfiber cloths to avoid
So it stays in house,
yeah.
and then they
so they
clean
wash
them.
them, and then we come back and just use
Okay.
theirs.
I
So
love
let's
that.
say hypothetically you book me as a client. So you show up every Friday at whatever time, you're there for a designated amount of time. You bring in the product. I don't have to provide you product. You bring all of that in. What about vacuums, mops?
Yeah, we bring it.
You bring it all. Okay.
Oh, you bring
Everything.
all that?
Yeah, our girls all have their own little bucket. It has their tub, their shower, they know, like, we teach them how to clean from from top to bottom. They know every surface.
Because if you're going to stand by what you're doing, you got to make sure that they're doing it exactly
Yeah.
how
Even the
you would
vacuum.
want it to be.
Yes, yeah, everything.
And she
Unless
even
you-
has like a mop and stuff like that they prefer.
Yeah, we have a few different mops that we
Okay,
love.
so what's the average time you spend on a home?
Oh, that's so hard because
it?
they're all so
It just
different
depends,
size,
like it-
different. But we send teams of 3 to.
Oh, really?
So they are in and out of your house. It's not they're there all day long. And it's nice being in a team, going to.
And so do you charge per hour?
Yeah, so we.
Because you get 3 of them, so that would be an hourly rate. Okay.
yeah.
And then I would decide, or Natasha, apparently you're going to her house.
Nope. You can be hypothetical too.
So you come for 2 hours, 3 hours, or are you even there longer at times?
Sometimes, like, depending if it's a move out cleaning or something. But I would say, like, a normal, if you have your house cleaned, like, every other
Regularly.
week, that's really common, is every other week.
Okay.
And your house is, like, I don't know, say, like, 4 bathrooms. Like, 2 hours is a good. 3 employees for 2 hours is, like, a good.
Okay.
And so I know your pricing is all different depending on if you like do a year contract or something like that. So how do people figure out that? Like how much they're going to be charged? or
Yeah,
whatever?
so we actually, it's more based on if you have it like weekly or bi-weekly, there's a different set hourly rate, and then monthly, and then there's your one time. The hourly rate is different.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole email before people book with us that it goes over all of our policies, all of our, like what they can expect. Like if they only want us to stay a certain amount of time, say they have a specific budget, then most people will be like, I want you to focus on my bathrooms in this amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one to try and wrap up with. One. So, what do people hate cleaning themselves the most?
Ooh, I would say walk-in showers. When
do.
they're
Yeah,
hard.
They are hard.
Yeah, and they have all those little
And they're
divots.
tall. Ours are really tall.
Okay, and then I saw a thing that you have like a little hose that hooks onto the shower.
It's so smart. Because I have a walk-in shower, and forever I was like, this is so hard. Like I'm using a cup.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I did so much research, and I'm like, there's got to be something. I'm
Right.
not the only one. If I am, I'm gonna invent it. But I found it, and there's like it hooks onto the top of your head of your shower, and it's like a
rubber
hose.
silicone, and
Yeah.
and then the hose. Then you can just like
You
rinse
can go
it.
to town. Yeah.
Saw that today.
Wow, who knew?
Yeah, that's smart because, do you think, when you get out of the shower and you have that spray it's just like to help the water stain. Do you think that really works?
I don't know. I had that once, but
I have it now, but I'm like, does it even work?
Right.
I think the only thing that really works is either squeegeeing, or I just think squeegeeing is such a pain that
It is.
I started just leaving a microfiber cloth in my shower, and you just dry it down. As
The
long
whole
as
shower?
Yeah, because it just takes a minute. If you have a huge, I guess my shower's tiny. It's like only one person can fit in this
No, but
bucket.
instead of
Yeah.
squeegeing, sitting
Yeah.
in there and squeegee, I guess just take the rag
I
down.
feel like it gets it
Oh, I'm
better.
too
Oh my
lazy.
gosh.
I know.
Of course,
that's
so maybe
what-
we could squeegee and then just do a
Good
little.
Oh,
stuff.
no.
I would say hardly anyone ever really
Manny, this
squeegees
is fun.
after.
All right, how do we get a hold of you? Social media and website?
Yes, website,
And it is
carecleaning.com.
perfect.
So
Yes.
thanks, Bailey.
Okay, thanks
you,
for
Derek,
sharing. Love it,
darling.
love it. Coming up next on Studio Chatter, 10 days in Guatemala. Sounds interesting. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Chatter. You know our producer and his photo a day challenge, but really 10 days in Guatemala. Welcome, producer Pete, back to the table.
Thank you,
That's
thank
a
you.
lot
I'm
of
glad
photo
to
a
be here.
day.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I had a
over
friend
there.
that says, really? That's not fair.
No, it's not.
Guatemala, I mean, we're stuck here in Utah
For
Valley.
10 days.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right,
it was a
right.
pretty fun.
So it wasn't because you
privilege.
got stuck there from coronavirus.
No,
Okay.
I
What
was
it
concerned.
for? I bet you guys were. Were you concerned
I
over
was
there?
concerned. We heard that in the airports, in the U.S., they were stopping people and checking people. We came into Houston and had no stops at all, just right through
Really?
customs, no problems.
Okay.
So
So that's good.
So you went in February.
yes,
10 days. Tell us about what group you went with.
I went with the Hershey Smiles Foundation.
Oh,
The
okay.
Hershey Smiles group was formed right here in Utah Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Blaine Hershey and his family started this about 30 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Yeah,
Wow,
it's been
okay.
30
I went to
years.
high school with one of his daughters, so I do know them, and they've done some really great stuff. They have.
So 25 years ago, I went on a mission with them
Oh,
to
okay.
Guatemala,
Wow.
and actually went to the same city that we went to in this particular trip we're going to talk about.
So do you
Yeah.
just go to one city then?
It depends.
Okay.
Initially, it was just that one city because it was easy for the doctors to work out of a local hospital
Right.
there, and there were a lot of needs out in the villages around. But more recently, the surgeons stay in Guatemala City because of a better clinic, and they just bring people in
Okay.
from around the country. The dentists, though, still travel out into the different areas of the country because you got to go to
can't
the
get
village.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kids,
Right.
kids or whoever needs their help just can't get out there.
That's so neat.
So when it originally started, I want to think or remember somehow that it was just because of the cleft palates.
That's the big thing. Dr.
Okay.
Hershey was a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
And so that was part of his practice here in the U.S. was taking care of cleft palates, among other things.
Is that
but it's-
still the
yeah,
majority of
right.
it?
In the surgical team, yes,
Really?
dramatically.
So they're still
Always.
super affected that way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's
And then are they
it's a
doing-
nutritional issue. It's all kinds of
okay.
things. That
Really?
they just I've been told by some people that the mothers they don't have access to prenatal care, and so no vitamins, and so their body is just depleted of those nutrients to help
Wow.
form the full face of a baby.
Interesting.
So what was your main function the trips before and this time?
All three, I've been down there 3 times.
Okay.
And my purpose in going is to help promote the group,
Okay.
because I'm a video guy.
Uh-huh.
And so I made the promotional video for the surgical team 25 years ago.
Okay.
I made another surgical team video 4 years ago, and this time I was with the dental group. So I'll be making a video
So
for
how
the
did
dental
you
group.
first connect with the group?
Well, that's one of the nurses that was working with the foundation. Then I was working with her doing medical training videos. And so it was kind of a natural leap. Hey, Pete, come with us on these
Okay.
trips and
That's
help
so
us put
awesome.
together a promotional
And you have
piece.
to pay your own way,
Um,
or do they help
they
supplement it a little
will,
bit?
not to pat myself on the back, but they will pay my way.
Oh, okay,
But
good.
I don't charge them any fees at all.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
don't
you
charge them for
donate
my
that
work
portion.
or the editing. I just, that's my give back
Okay.
to the organization. So
Okay.
to them it's a bargain,
Yeah.
because I'm so
Yeah.
expensive.
So how many children were you guys able to see when you were down there?
Yeah, so we worked in the villages and schools and churches, and roughly every day there was about 100, maybe 125 that would come.
A day?
A day. The big day was like 160, maybe 170.
So are they just doing dental cleanings and exams, or
Nope,
this
nope,
is cleft
this-
palate and
nope,
that?
This is dental extractions.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
90% of the cases are simply
'Cause just
we're
bad
just pulling teeth out because they are rotten down to the down to the bone pretty much.
And then that could cause other infections that cause other
Right,
ill.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine having a toothache for 6 months, waiting for us to come?
Do they not have dentists there?
No. There are some dentists in the major cities or in the bigger areas, but to get the care, I mean, we went to a village that was 2 hours at the top of a mountain, and they just can't come down to the mountain and get dental care. And the health care in Guatemala, as I learned during this trip, is that yes, the government will pay for your health care, but trying to get health care is almost impossible.
Right.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Well, there was one photo that stuck with me, photo of the day, and it was the little girl in the landfill.
Yes.
So tell
Yes.
us about that photo.
That just gives me chills just thinking about that. But one of our afternoons, we drove through the country roads, and we we were going to a landfill where people actually live.
No.
Families were living at this landfill. And so if you looked at this table here as being kind of the way the landfill is, trucks would come in, the kids would chase after the trucks and jump on the back of the trucks. Around the peripheral of the landfill were small one room or maybe 2-room huts built out of whatever garbage was in the landfill. I mean, they would just take stuff and put together a hut, and they would live right there. And they had kind of a gathering spot in the middle where one woman would kind of act as head cook for the area, and they'd bring things and they would cook things up.
I imagine it being dirty and just
Oh, it's
unhealthy.
filthy.
And
Filthy. I mean,
And was it a
birds and
currently
dogs.
active landfill? Like
Oh, yeah.
people, they were still dumping there?
Yes, yes.
They were chasing
While we
after
were
the
there, there were
truck.
trucks driving in, and there were people going out and going through the different items and gathering not plywood, gathering cardboard or tires or whatever. They were just constantly always looking through things.
So what
While
was,
the children are out playing soccer and having a great time.
yeah, and they don't know anything
Right.
different.
And that's what's so
That's
weird
their
about
life.
this in my mind is, here they are living in the worst of worse,
And they're
and
happy.
they're happy. And that was the photo of the little girl, because she
I
just
loved it.
she was smiling more before I took the picture, and I got her in a spot where she was just that half smile, but dirty face, just it
So
just breaks
what
my
was
heart.
your highlight of the trip, if there was one?
That may be it right
Yeah.
there. But the day before that, we were up in a small village, and we were. This was part of a humanitarian effort versus the dental work. They sent a small team of people to help rebuild houses or rebuild huts, if you will. They put some corrugated metal on roofs or on walls. So I was with that team that day getting video of what they were doing. And there was a little girl, probably about 6 or 7 years old, that was hiding in the bedroom. And there was like a little cutout of the cardboard, the wall was basically a cardboard, and she would kind of look out that window and look at me. And I could tell she had kind of a puffy lip. So she had just come from the dentist a little earlier, and so she had a little bit of a puffy lip. And she eventually she came out of the room and sat by me. She wanted to look through the camera. So I turned on the video camera and turned on my photo camera. And we bonded right there for about 20 minutes, taking pictures together. I showed her where to push and where to look, and so she was taking pictures with my camera, and I'd smile and she'd smile, and her brother would smile. We took a picture of her stuffed animal, and
And maybe had never seen that or experienced
Probably
that.
never did. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't speak Spanish, and she didn't speak any English, and so we just had that moment of sharing.
Yeah, and
gosh.
pictures
And
that
can
experience.
say so much
And you think
also.
most of our kids see that every day on their parents' phones.
Sure, or their own phones.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how many photos a day do
Probably
they take
never
on their
seen
phones,
herself
right?
like
right.
that before.
So on that note, just through the years of transition and being able to go on these trips, have you looked at your original footage and compared to
No.
now?
I don't.
That would be really cool though,
Yeah.
to see even
Yeah.
how much that's changed.
True.
Is the first one on a reel?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. I don't even want to go back there. Yeah, thanks a
millimeter.
lot. Unreal. Yeah.
I'm kidding, of course.
I had to spin it like
Well,
this.
we're glad
and
that
watch
you're
it.
back. We're
I know,
glad
I'm
you're
glad
back.
to- that
And
you
that's
shared
really,
this
really
with us.
It
cool.
was a
Yeah.
very, very
Super
fun
cool.
trip. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You have to be careful of what you drink and what you eat
Yeah.
everywhere you go, you know. And the showers are, you know, you have to. We wear sandals in the shower in case we might cut
But
our
I'm
foot
like being at
somewhere.
home right now.
Yeah, exactly. Really, really. And then there's a little garbage can next to the toilet because you don't flush paper. You don't.
Right.
So it's a different kind of a world.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Thanks
thank
for
you.
sharing. Yeah,
And
glad
thanks
to
for
have you in
going.
the hot seat again.
Well, you know, I appreciate all you three do here for the show and this, my little bit of giving back.
Oh, thank you.
Next on Studio Chatter, we love to talk travel. That's coming right up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We love to travel. Let's talk about our favorite places.
Wow, this segment could go on for hours.
Yes.
Right?
So it won't though.
Okay.
People won't bore you for hours.
We'll just talk about what's on the docket for maybe spring.
The next few months,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah. Do you have anything planned in the near future?
I do.
Okay.
My oldest turned 30 in the fall.
Okay.
So we surprised him with a trip to Disneyland, which is now booked for April.
Okay.
So we're taking him, his wife, and their 5-year-old.
Oh, fun.
So, and we're just going to do the 3-day hopper pass.
So not the whole family's going, just that little family.
just that little
That'll
family.
be fun.
And it's my daughter-in-law's and granddaughter's first time to Disney.
No.
Oh.
Stacey,
So-
you got to do
So you gotta do the
ears and
pins
everything
and
and
yeah.
Well,
t-shirts.
we've narrowed, I'm working with my daughter-in-law and what shirts should we wear. And we know my husband and my son don't want to wear shirts. We don't care. We're going to make them. We realize
We do that
Well, you
for our
have
boys.
to.
Yes.
You have to. Duh.
it's
we
like
get
an
them made
$8
every year.
investment.
Right.
My husband's like, don't spend the money. I'm like,
Like,
just
yes.
stay out of it.
You can use
We're
it for yard
deciding.
work or something.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
Christmas pajamas, right?
It is. You have
Yeah.
to do
You're
it.
wearing these, so
So
I'm not.
That's what we have going
Right.
on.
Oh, I
and I'm
love
kind
it.
of hoping with the virus that a lot of people will just stay home and Disneyland will be empty that weekend.
I'm gonna hope
Probably
for that for
not
you.
gonna happen.
Yes.
Or even down.
They'll just be there with their masks and their ears.
And maybe they'll quarantine you to Disneyland, and that would be
You
great.
would be so jealous.
I would
I'll
be
be sending
so
you selfies from Disney Disneyland.
From Pirates, just
Yeah.
over and over
Sorry.
again.
So you're doing the hopper. Did you say 3 days?
Yeah,
Oh, how fun. Where are you staying?
at the Marriott.
Okay.
I think.
That's like on near. Like,
Yeah, just right
near
across the street.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've stayed there.
Jelly,
It's nice.
so fun.
And then I want my husband's 50th birthday's this year, so I need to book a little weekend getaway with the family
A little
somewhere. I'm
soiree.
working on that. I'll get
Okay,
back to
little
you.
secret.
Yeah.
Maybe for now.
So really, none of the other kids have been like, oh, that's not fair.
Yeah, my one daughter that loves Disney, and I just keep telling her, this is not about you. She's like, no, you don't need to take us with them. I'm like, it was his 30th. And we went out to Georgia twice to see her last year.
Oh.
So,
so this is
I'm
his
not
thing.
feeling too bad.
So everybody gets kind of their.
Yeah.
Little piece.
There's, okay.
I think it's good to have some individual quality time.
I like
I
that,
would
Stacey.
agree.
I always feel like I have to be fair. Well, and that is being fair because you
is.
did go out there.
Out to
but
her
for
place.
some reason, when I do something like that, I start to feel bad. And I'm not like,
No, we went out twice. And growing up, we took them all on their own vacation at 10 years old for their birthday. And so that
Wow,
was
I
just,
like it. I'm steaming
Yeah, it's
that
good
was
to have
such
them.
a good memory. And I had to just stay within like a 3-day
Yeah.
radius. And
Because the house is falling apart back home.
well, just, and when you're
Kidding.
raising 4 kids, I'm like,
Right.
it can't be super expensive. Like, and we just kind of, I would plant seeds.
Right.
I'm
Like
doing
what
all the
you
talking.
kinda
What are you
thought?
guys
No,
doing?
love
No,
that.
I do
So what do you have planned for spring vacation?
Spring, well, we're not going anywhere for spring break, but we are going down to St. George a couple of times for baseball tournaments.
Okay.
And I'm taking Bo and his friends, and we're staying at my in-laws' condo with them. So I'm like, boys,
fun.
you got to be curfew, be on your best behavior.
Right. They're seniors.
And I'm like, we won't even see them. I think that they'll stop in and out, and then I'm just going to go sit by the pool with my
Can I have some
mother-in-law.
money,
and-
Mom?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm happy about that. Then the second weekend, Rhett's going to come and go with us.
Fun.
And then we're going to do Disney in the summer and Laguna Beach with Rhett's whole family this
And
year.
all your kids.
All the kids.
Even those new
everyone.
babies, huh?
Even the new babes.
That'll
gosh,
be
how
a new
fun.
adventure.
Yeah, and there's cousins that also have babies too. So they're just going to be gobs of littles.
So
It's like we're
fun.
starting over again. It's like we all raised and now we've got these new
Second
babies.
generation.
Yep. So
Super
that'll
fun.
be fun.
So both of yours are domestic, so that's probably fairly safe. No cruises for anybody.
No.
So we're booked and planning to go to the UK.
You are?
The whole
in
fam?
April, yes. So by the whole family, I mean the whole family. So grandma and grandpa, so my mom and dad are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. So they're going with us to the wedding that we're going to in the UK. So it's the British Isles, actually. And Barrett and Gunnar were asked to be Flower Girl and Page Boy for some very close friends. Yeah, so it's going. I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's the travel part.
That just
probably,
doesn't sound like us. Like that is just kind of magical and neat and different.
So it's really weird too, because I think we've kind of known and been in the planning stages for over a year for sure. Like we've known about it, and now it's a little
It's in
scary.
April.
Right.
Yeah. So the travel, I mean, I don't know, but
Hopefully you
I
can
know.
still go and that doesn't get
I hope
canceled.
so. Yeah.
I hope so too.
So I mean, it should be a great time, but there's we have to go through some different both airports in London, and then there's a ferry involved to get to the
I
little
don't even know
island.
what
and-
they're doing at the airports and stuff to help with the coronavirus. What?
I think
Is
there's
there?
just warning signs. So I think I mentioned I came back from Sacramento last week, which clearly still domestic U.S., but just the same precautions they're giving
So they're
everybody.
not
like,
doing anything
I
too
don't
crazy.
think so. Like they can't really test for anything.
So maybe just
except
flights that are
then-
coming in from certain areas.
Probably.
Maybe more or going to certain areas.
Yeah, taking some precautions. I know that Spanish Fork City has a group every March come from Europe. And it's like an exchange.
right.
So a group goes to Europe and these Europeans come to the United States. Spanish Fork City is on the route of like Washington, D.C., L.A., Seattle. Like
Interesting.
I know.
Why?
Because we're rural. So they can go shooting, horseback riding, go to the
So
fairgrounds.
funny.
So, but
love that.
I just got an email today that they're canceled. They'll be coming in October because of this.
Okay.
So that's
they're
just a
worried
lot of
about it.
travel and plans. So yeah, so European is they're canceling some
they'll do-
flights.
Yeah, and I think didn't you just do something recently that was just like a little local
Yes,
flight?
just flew out of Spanish Fork Airport today for the day, and we went and checked out Scottsdale, Arizona's airport. As
Wow.
Spanish Fork is growing and the possibility of Spanish Fork's airport.
I love
So that is so fun to just go somewhere for the day.
a little day trip.
And so did they just, that facility kind of hosted you guys to show you what
Yeah,
it was
they
all
just
about, or
took
the
us.
city?
There were just staff members and mayor and council and some pilots and airport board members, just as like what can become of Spanish Fork Airport. Years ago, it was Spanish Fork and Springville, and about 2 years ago, Springville is out. So now it's just Spanish Fork, and we feel like we can do.
So now Provo Airport's going to become more commercial, and so Spanish Fork has that
Yeah,
opportunity to
there's
grow a
so
little bit
much
more.
opportunity for Spanish Fork
Awesome.
Airport for smaller planes, for either
Sure.
smaller jets, and for just like dads or moms that are pilots and
Right.
want to take their kids up for an afternoon or whatever.
Wow.
So it's just super fun. It was just seeing these people get off their little jets into their Escalades, or this man and woman getting into their
That's
red
just
Porsche.
so fun to me.
Just
Like,
watching them
exciting.
like, wow, what are they doing? And it's spring training. So there were a lot of like just private
sure.
jets, 10
Athletes
seaters.
or something like that.
We went past a hangar where they're, the Cardinals plane, their jet, it was in their hangar. These hangars, you guys, are just massive and
Well,
incredible.
Just
there's
so
a lot
nice.
there's a lot that you can do to stimulate the economy, though, surrounding
Oh.
aviation because of the jet fuel and the hangar
Exactly.
storage, and just as you mentioned.
And that
I
is
mean,
it. Like, it could really stimulate Spanish Fork's
And even
That's
people
amazing.
coming in and maybe staying. So maybe
Exactly.
more hotel, more food, more
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Well, just the fuel gassing up is a big thing.
Yeah, which is
So-
a tax that we receive.
Yeah. So
Awesome. I like
awesome.
it.
Well, it sounds like a fun spring ahead of us.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the
that's always good.
coronavirus stays away.
So we
do
do our
this.
things, or our
Right.
viewers will have some ornery co-hosts.
Yes.
Yeah. Just be smart. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
And wear a mask. Maybe the masks should say
What you're thinking about it.
protective, or like sick, or just a precaution. Because I do get scared. Like if I see someone in the store
Like,
with
do
a
they
mask
have
on,
it?
I'm like, maybe stay home.
Right.
But if it's just for precaution, I'm fine.
Okay, so they need to say precaution
Yes.
for Stacy.
So just write that on your
The
shirt.
grocery store here, I mean, not as much. In the airport, it's a little more nerve-wracking. Like to see folks
Yes.
walking around, you're like, where'd you come from?
Right.
How do you?
Yes. Do you
Were there
have
a
it?
lot of
I'm
masks?
sick. That's
No,
why
I
they
mean,
need that.
not a lot, but you know, enough that you kind of go,
Maybe
So
I'm not
should I
safe.
be wearing a mask just because I have a cold?
I don't know.
no.
I mean, that would have been really hard for you guys to understand me tonight.
Right. It would have been, but I
You
don't
would have
know.
been fine because you're already like contaminated. So we should be wearing,
We should be 6
wearing
feet apart.
masks. So we're not
This
contaminated.
is
There
going
we
to
go,
get
yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, we're going to move away. All right. Coming up next on Studio Chatter, overcoming grief can really push us to the limit. Stay with us for some support. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. The loss of a loved one or some other tragedy in our life can send us reeling, and we shouldn't try to overcome it alone. Let's welcome Heather Yancey, a solo mother of 2, to the chatter. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks
Hi,
so much for
cute
having
Hev.
me, you guys. I appreciate it.
Angie and I know you well.
Yes.
So we
do.
are so excited for Natasha and our viewers to get to know you a little bit
Yeah.
better. So tell us
Thank
a
you
little
so
bit
much.
about
Introduce
you are.
us.
Well, I am a mom of twins. My husband passed away 2 weeks after their 3rd birthday, and they're now 6.5. So we've made it 3.5 years. So it's kind of veteran status at this point, where you feel like you've got a little bit of a grip on life, the huge life change that you've had, and you kind of never get over it, but you
Right.
get to the point where you can kind of work with that grief and not just have it be such an all-encompassing part of your life. So I'm kind of looking outward now at how I can help other widows and other people who have gone through loss and feeling
Maybe
like
tell
it's
us
kind of
a
the time for
little
them.
tad bit of your story so people can understand
Yeah.
your grieving and
Yeah, of course. My husband and I would have been celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. So we had been married for, we'd been married for 16 years. It took us a long time to have our girls. We went through IVF to get them. So we were the older parents that were so excited to have our family. And I found him unresponsive one morning, early in the morning, and called 911, did CPR, all the things that we are, programmed in our mind to do. And he passed away at the hospital. It was completely fluky and unexpected, and I was 38 years old, left with these twins to raise. So it was really quite a life-shattering, changing event.
I want to ask you, you said after 3.5 years, you kind of feel like a veteran.
I do.
At what point,
did it transition?
Yeah,
into
when-
that?
When did you get that status?
and I'm sure this is going to look different for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think
For
that's
you.
one of the really important things to understand about grief is it is so unique and it's so different for every person. For me, I would say the first year was just survival, just making it through the day. And you're in a fog. You can't function the same way. You can't think the same way. So I'd say like that first year was just kind of getting through it. And then I think it's actually more painful that second year because the reality,
Oh.
I really do. I think the first year you're almost kind of protected because you're still in shock. And
everyone's around and kind
Yes,
of helping. You're
yes.
going through the first, but you're almost prepared
Yes.
to go through those first and have it be
yes,
hard.
and I think I've been really blessed that we have a wonderful community around us, as you know, we are neighbors. And so that help didn't go away. A lot of people, the help goes away after a month or 3 months,
Okay.
a year. I think those are really common times. Like people will remember maybe a year, but grief doesn't go away. It is there and life altering forever for myself, for my daughters, for everyone that loved Mike. So the people that stick around and remember those important dates and anniversaries to you, just.
I love like
It's really
pizza on his
powerful.
birthday and stuff.
Yes.
Like those
Yes.
are always just
Yes.
so tender and cute for me.
Yes.
So, what is your general support system, or even in that first year?
So in that first year, I grew up in California, so I have my mom and dad are in California. I have a brother there, and I have a sister there. I have one sibling out here, so he's been a big support. But he's a married man with 4 kids of his own and lots of travel, so he was a big support. But really, my friends and my neighbors were the everyday support to me. Can we take your girls for a couple hours? Can we help you? The everyday help. Emotional help. I talk to my mom every day.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
And then I found this community online very quickly. After he passed away, we went with my sister. She lives in Southern California. Went to go spend a couple of weeks with her before we had to kind of come back and get back to life and figure out what that
Right.
looked like.
Right.
And when I was there, I started looking up what kind of support groups, what is out there, who understands this and has been through this. And I found on Facebook this, I'm LDS, so I found this LDS widow and widower group. And that has been an immense source of support. It's been absolutely amazing.
So do they meet, or is that just an online?
Well, it is
group?
online, so we have. The majority of the members are in Utah, Arizona. Within the United States, we have some that are international. But they do a conference every year at BYU, and it's focused on all kinds of different scenarios that come up for people who are grieving and who have lost their spouse. So they'll have some that are like talking about how to help your children with grieving, or how to help blend a family if you're looking at getting remarried. Finances, so many things like that. So we do have that physical time we're able to get together. They have that every year, and then there have been spin-off conferences because of that one. So we have one like in Arizona and Idaho and St. George. So there's
So
really
are you playing a big part in some of that now?
I am an admin on one of the Facebook groups for the Young Widow group. So there's there's a big broad one that anyone who's LDS and has lost a spouse joins, and there's I think like 6,000 members. And then we have a Young Widow group, which is 50-ish, still raising kids at home and younger. And we have people who are widowed when they're 21.
Right.
We have, there's a variety. So I felt very young at 38, but then you hear someone who's like in their early 20s, and it's
Just tough.
yeah. So just the unique things about raising children and helping them grieve, and being a solo parent, which was never your plan, and
Right.
being able
You're
to talk
grieving,
about this.
but they at 3,
Yeah.
trying to understand.
Yes.
And will they remember certain aspects of him?
Absolutely.
How much do you hold on and keep his memory alive? And
So
that's
many things
so
to try and
tricky
figure out
think.
how to do it. So just like with anything, it is so helpful to have other people who
Been through it.
understand.
Yeah, or
absolutely.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And someone told me, like with my mother just recently passing, like grief is going to look different on every person.
absolutely.
And what works for one may not work for another, but that understanding, that empathy
Yes.
runs really deep through everyone. So
Absolutely.
when you tell them something, they get it, they understand. And
Oh,
sometimes that's
yes.
just like, just comforting knowing someone else understands and gets it.
Yeah,
Just like me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best ways you can be there for someone who's grieving is just to sit with them in their grief and just let them be sad and just let them tell you how they're feeling. I think we are such a fix it.
Fix
We
it.
want to fix it, but you can't fix that. It's just something where you just need love and
process it.
support. And yeah, one of my we were served in just so many ways after Mike passed away, but one of my dear friends called me every single night, I think for a solid year, just to check in with me, because she understood evenings were lonely, how different it felt.
I bet.
And that was such an amazing service, because she hadn't lost a spouse, but she just innately just understood. Yeah, isn't that incredible?
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I'm sure that the change is probably transitioned for you through the years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so you're probably a wealth of information also to share with others.
I hope to be. Yeah.
So tell us about this workshop that you have coming up in Pleasant Grove.
Yes. So on April 3rd, we are having our first charity gala. It's for WW Ministering Angels. It was a charity that was started by a group of my friends that spun off from this Facebook group. Wow. We recognize, like, at Christmas time, people wouldn't have money to get their kids gifts. So that was kind of where it first started, but then you'd hear, someone's power was going to be turned off, or they didn't have money to make their rent this month, those types of things. And so people kept stepping up and pulling money and helping out in those situations, those really dire situations. And we just realized there was a greater need. I wasn't one that formed the charity, but I'm helping with this gala to hopefully raise some money and awareness and have just a fun event for people to attend. It's going to be really outstanding. We have Jenny Oaks Baker and her family are performing, and she's amazing. Jenny Taylor, who is the widow of the North Ogden mayor who was killed in Afghanistan.
She's amazing to listen
She's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's a fun excuse to get dressed up, come hear some good music, hear some uplifting words, have some yummy food. We have a great caterer coming.
So
Drinks,
do you need
treats.
to pre-buy tickets to like
Yes,
tables?
tickets are available right now. You can buy an individual ticket, or you can buy a table if you want to go with a group of friends.
Do you know
or
how much those are?
they're $100 a ticket or $800 for a table.
Okay.
And we're hoping to get about 200 people there to get a really good turnout. We're going to be doing a silent auction and a regular live auction. We actually have an auctioneer in our group, so we even have a real auctioneer that's going to be a part of it. But it should be a really, really wonderful night. Because, being widowed is such a hard thing, but there's always light. There's always positive things, and there's things you learn and you grow, and you can share that with other people. So it's not just going to be a downer of a night. I think it's going to be a really
It'll be
amazing
fun.
and
And
uplifting
in
night.
Pleasant Grove, we're at.
Pleasant Grove, it's called the Tribe House.
Yes.
I'm going to give you our website and look that up. It's linked right to the tickets on Eventbrite, and we'd love to have some support and people there to
Oh, that
Heather,
Come
you
have
sound
fun.
amazing.
You
We
are
just loved
amazing.
all of
Thank
yours.
you.
It's such
Oh, I
an
love you.
example of like just strength and
Oh,
courage to keep
I don't know
going.
about that, but thank
Yeah,
you.
You are.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. We'll
Thank
share
you
that
so much.
information. There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. What's your favorite takeaways today?
This was fun.
It was a great show.
Okay.
And so diverse too.
Blue Dawn and vinegar. Like, I'm really going to go make some things up.
No, I am. I'm going to go look at her Instagram and kind of take
Yeah.
some of those few things. And I do have
Get
microfiber
some-
towels.
Yes, I need to go get me some cool little bottles
Yeah,
and
they're
label them.
glass bottles.
Yeah,
they
I
felt
like
heavy
those.
and nice.
But they're from China. Not to go back to the.
So we need to
We'll just leave it
disinfect
there.
them before we actually use them to disinfect other things.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But
Yeah,
I
I
would love
loved
to
her.
stalk her now on
Yeah.
Instagram. I think once we
She's
wrap up
darling.
here, I'm going to go
I
do
think
that.
it's just so impressive that she's just so young and on the ball and just has that entrepreneurial spirit and just they're going for their
Totally.
dreams.
Well, and I love
Yeah.
it too because, I mean, she doesn't love to clean, but she committed herself. Her and her husband
Right.
did it for those months. But now they're managing it, and they're 25 years old.
Right, she had an interest in it and then just kind of pushed
Yeah.
herself to find
and
the
then you
avenue.
just make it grow. I love that.
But I loved how she said that too. Like we just had to quit our jobs and like go all in to make it happen.
And they're doing good.
Yeah, yeah, so
fun.
good.
That's fantastic.
That was a good one.
So back to grief.
Okay.
A little bit. Was there ever any like gift or something that you received that was meant a lot to you during your grief period? For example, when my father-in-law passed away 9 years ago, someone gave us the book Teardrop Soup. So after reading that and understanding that grief looks so many different ways, now that's my go-to gift when I give someone a grief gift. But like, what are some other ideas?
Well, there were several different things, but I think in general what really sticks out to me is that people just acted and just came and showed love and would drop off random things. And it would be at times that maybe I didn't know that I needed it, but I love the fact that people weren't asking, what can I do for you?
They
I
just
mean,
did it.
people still did, but people were just bringing by a meal. Or like, I remember the day that she passed away and then we had to leave my dad and came home and I was just in such a thick fog and so teary and sad. And my own daughter and son-in-law showed up and I hadn't put up my Christmas. And all of a sudden they showed up and just started putting up my Christmas tree. Just meant like so much to me. And then it's been a few months and our good friend Lisa Swenson just showed up and she said, you've been on my mind for months, but I haven't been able to like get to you.
Yeah.
But I want you to know I've been thinking of you. And I said, I trust in that. Like I can feel it. And she said, I want to give you this. And she gave me a cute little bracelet and a book. And I can't wait to read that because it was like someone that was passing away wrote a portion and then the family wrote another portion after like their two views of that. So I don't know, just good people.
Well, that's really good advice too, because I think it can often be awkward, even when you're going through the line to say, you know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
you know, and
It is awkward.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
And that's like the go-to, like, I'm sorry, but truly.
Like you
you
understand
almost-
that though, but it's just the fact that you were there. Like it meant so much to have you two come through the line. Like people that didn't even know my mother, but loved me. It meant a lot.
That time, I think nowadays more than any previous time in our world's history, time is so
Oh my
valuable.
gosh,
So you
right.
understand that they're giving
Yeah.
a gift to you
When
by
my dad
showing.
passed away, and I still remember like 3 friends just stopping by over a couple-day period just to sit and talk. And in my head, I just thought, you're spending an hour sitting here visiting, which means the world because
Yeah.
people's time is so
Right.
valuable.
Yeah.
Well, and I, like you said, everybody's experience could be so different too. Like if you your mom being ill and kind of knowing there was a timeline, and then with Heather, like just
Out of the
one
blue.
day, you know. So how to support
not
that in so many
preparing,
different
yeah.
ways.
Yeah, it's true.
And like Lisa Swenson reaching out, even though
Later.
it's been a couple months
Right,
now.
like she had felt bad,
Yeah.
but it's like I still couldn't get it out of my mind to come and reach out. And I said, "This is perfect because the honeymoon phase, like Heather,
Right,
it's kind of over,
exactly.
and it was like so needed to have
That's
just an
so
extra
good.
love."
We need to go with our gut.
Yeah, we
when we're-
do.
When we're loving someone through grief.
Oh my gosh. And then Pete's experience.
I know.
Like, I wish everybody could take a gratitude trip. Like, I think you all have like experiences in life that kind of shape and build you. And what you draw from that, like, oh my gosh, I went to this place. And you come back and you're like,
I get it. New
Wow.
perspective.
Yeah.
totally new perspective. I remember from years and years ago traveling to Moscow, Russia, when before anything had really changed there, and coming back and in the States where everything's just so different,
Yeah.
and you just feel like, wow, just by comparison, or to see how little people have or what they're really
Yeah.
living on or with and don't know the difference, and then this world that we're thrust into, and I have to do this today, I have to do this, and I didn't do my online order, and I didn't make a social post, and
Right.
you know,
And they're just, like, dealing with water.
It's really, I think, gratitude and perspective, and you go, oh wow, okay, they really didn't have water today.
Right.
Well, and like when we went to Jerusalem, and this has been almost 20 years ago, I feel like, but when we went to the beach of Tel Aviv, there was soldiers with machine guns just on the beaches, like roaming, and then there was little shacks like further down that had been bombed, and they were still there and had been there for like years, and then there would be this nice hotel right there.
Oh,
Isn't
it
that
just
nice?
it like made you like think like what's happened here, and it's so unstable, and how grateful we are that we live pretty much in a community that's pretty stable
Yeah.
and safe.
Yeah, definitely.
We do.
We're
Yeah.
blessed. We're definitely
We
very
really are.
blessed
And our
in this
biggest
community.
problems are no toilet paper and no Diet Coke, right?
Yes.
You know,
Little graffiti
you know,
here
and
and
you
there.
make the jokes like, oh, you know,
First
first world
world
problems.
problems.
Yeah.
But it's
But
so
it's
true.
true.
And it's a good little kind reminder. It's a kind reminder to ourselves or to our kids. First
Right.
world problems.
Absolutely. Wow, so much good here today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it
a good
really
one.
was.
Yeah.
I'll see you girls next time.
Next
And
time.
then maybe at yoga sometime.
Ooh, yeah.
Because we pinky
Yes,
promised.
yes. Shout out
Okay.
to Amber Lynn. So yeah, go check out her schedule at Starlight Yoga.
Okay.
Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Tell a friend about us.